coming at you guys with a short live stream out here in wonderful Florida, hanging out, doing what I do, conducting some business, and trying to make a way. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Is everybody up, out and about on Thor's day? How's everybody doing? Hope y'all good. The reason I wanted to do this live stream because something came to my attention. I would say yesterday, and I really got an issue with it. And this is actually from another content creator, Anton Daniels. If y'all know Anton Daniels, he's done a lot, and for the most part, I enjoy his content and agree with a lot of his but that we know, I think he's all the time. Right now, something he said on a live stream. He does a panel show that I was that I watch from time to time. I don't like to watch it too long because, quite frankly, there are people that be on the show I can't stomach listening to. And y'all know how I lean politically. I'm not a conservative, but I am a political pragmatic. I believe in doing what works for the long term. So, but I don't rock steadfast one way or the other. I roll with the the best. I look for the best possible outcome. So that all being said, on this panel show that Anton was on, the question was asked if basically what is manhood, and Anton Daniels gave an answer that manhood is basically suffering, and I got to tell you, there are a lot of goofies that agree with that sentiment, which Anton couldn't be more wrong on. I mean, the premise is stupid. The premise is stupid. Manhood is not about suffering, not about suffering at all. And basically those people that agree with him are the incel types, are the types that they they like to get on, these social media platforms and stuff, and they like to hide in little sneak disses. These are your sign language guys and stuff like that. These are the guys that like to hide, don't show their face, but they always got an opinion on some shit, and they refuse to stand on what they say. Getting back to Anton and this premise that manhood is about suffering, that can't be any further from the truth because for a few things. First of all, everyone suffers. Everyone feels discomfort at some level. Everyone at some point goes without. Everyone feels pain. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Everyone at any time, at any point of history, every human that is in existence has felt suffering. So I disagree with him. I, on the other hand, look at manhood, and this is not a feeling, this is a cognitive conclusion, manhood is about overcoming and accomplishing, about bending your surroundings or bending circumstances to your will, about navigating obstacles, overcoming obstacles, about meeting and beating challenges. Think about this. Back in the caveman days, when the caveman was hungry, that hunger was suffering, okay? So that means that caveman had to do something. That caveman had to forage, the caveman had to hunt, the caveman had to learn how to farm, that caveman had to do several things in order to how anybody could suffer. The real thing that made that caveman that moved that caveman to the point to where we are and what we are today is that solutions were found. Okay? Solutions were found. That when that caveman was cold, that caveman had to figure out shelter, that caveman had to figure out uh, better clothing, that caveman had to figure out what fire was and how to use it in the best way possible. That caveman overcame circumstances. That suffering could have happened to anyone. Okay? Suffering is a part of the human condition, but it is not what makes a man. It's like simply having, you know, it's like these people are conflating, and people like Anton are conflating having male genitalia with uh, with being a man, and that's not it. Being a man is a system of grooming and guidance. It's not just simply you became bigger and you had hair under your arms. Uh, this whole suffering thing, I think, is the stupidest premise possible. And another way of looking at it is that, when it comes to things like, you know, getting back to the grooming situation. Uh, to become a man, you had to take certain steps. You had to overcome certain deficiencies historically, all through history. You had to overcome certain deficiencies. One of the biggest deficiencies is being broke, not having, So, hey, hold on. Yeah, sorry about that. So, in order to overcome, in order to become what we recognize as a man, traditionally, you had rites of passage. And male children as young as 7 years old, they were removed from their mothers and they were given to the male elders in the village in order to instruct them on how to become a man. And each one of the things that they had to learn was basically how to overcome challenges, how to find their way and survive in the wilderness, how to hunt food, how to fish, how certain skills like blacksmithing or making weapons or plowing fields and different stuff. That the suffering is a byproduct. It's not. It's not an issue of that makes you a man, and that's stupid to think that simply being uncomfortable is what makes you a man. Anybody can be uncomfortable. And so this is what I had an issue with Anton. And this is what I have an issue with a lot of men today. There's a lot of this crybaby bullshit that's going on out here. It's tough for guys out here because we can't do such and such. And it's like, okay, all right, it's tough. What are you going to do about it? That's what makes you a man. Furthermore, suffering is a state of mind and is relative to internal influences and external influences. Like if you're chronically depressed, that's suffering, okay? What you do about it determines what your status is, okay? If you're chronically depressed, but you get out and you go run 5 miles, you'll probably feel better. You go outside, get some sunlight, go drink some water, go get a nice meal, you'll feel better. How is that? You've come up with a solution. How is that a mark of manliness? How is simply suffering? How is simply suffering a mark of manliness? Okay, I would answer that question. Simply not feeling well, being in poverty. Okay, most people on this planet are born into some type of poverty. It's what you do about that poverty that determines whether you're a man or not. A man is going to get up and say, hey, I don't like the circumstances I'm in, so I'm going to change them. I'm going to bend the circumstances to my will. I want to live better, so I'm going to do what it takes to live better. That's manlyhood. Simply being poor is not manlyhood. And I don't know where Anton and a lot of you goofies out there, I don't know where y'all get off of agreeing that that's, suffering is being a man. That's stupid. If you don't have a girlfriend, you want a girlfriend, you go get a girlfriend. You figure out what you need to do to go get a girlfriend. That's simply not having one. That's not a condition of manliness. It's what you do about it. It's how you overcome that situation. Why do some of y'all have this defeatist attitude? That's stupid. I don't understand this defeatist attitude. My life is miserable, and so you're not gonna do nothing about it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I think it was real irresponsible for Anton to put something out there like that to let that fly out of his mouth. Manhood is being a man is about suffering. Shut the fuck up. If you're gonna say something stupid like that, just don't talk. Respectfully, Anton. It's not that I want smoke with you. I don't agree with what you said. I think what you said was stupid. Okay? So I think maybe this is something that you need to cover, or at least you need to explain yourself to explain yourself better why you think manhood is suffering. Because right now, I'm not feeling what you said. I think it was real irresponsible. And I think that's what gets people in trouble. Really not thinking about the things that they say and how they come across. So anyway, I wanted to put that out, and and really really start a conversation about that aspect of the idea of manliness, because if you are running around thinking being a man is about suffering, that's stupid and that's a defeatist attitude. Ming Dang Lee. Hello, Min Dang Lee. How you say that? You know, how you doing? Hit that like button. You're gonna come in here and put something in the comment section. Make sure you hit that like button. You know. Anyway, I'm gonna cut this short. I'll come back later. I'm gonna be putting up more content because I think I think too much irresponsibleness has permeated the space, and I think an older, more seasoned voice needs to make sense of some of this nonsense that's going on. So you all will be seeing me more. I'll be doing more lives like this on the fly. So anyway, this is Mr. Royce Media. Like, share, and subscribe. If you don't like, put a thumbs down. You know, it makes no difference to me. You know, just you know, react to it one way or another. And you all will be hearing from me a little bit later. Peace.